He is brilliant. ஆனா அடிக்கடி ரொம்ப டயர்ட் ஆயிடுறான்.
Lion Date Syrup நோய் எதிர்ப்பு சக்தி அதிகமா இருக்கு. தினமும் 2 ஸ்பூன்.
இப்போது புதிய அறிமுகம் அச்சி ஹோட்டல் சாம்பார் 50 கிராம் ரூபாய் 20 மட்டுமே.
Taste Daily. Taste the Daily.
How Draco Janssen, every time I look at that, it looks even closer than it was the time before. But Draco managed to avoid damaging that rather pretty paintwork, his new livery for this year. Almeida will feel somewhat sore about that. It brought out the red flag. Fortunately, it wasn't for too long and we were able to get things back underway. Ariel Levy looked like he was just going to clear off at the front, but Sasha Norden was man on a mission. He found a route past Flint Schuring. You've got to get up pretty early in the morning to find a route past Flint Schuring at the best of times. But he did just that, and he got past and into that second place and slowly closed in on our race leader. Henry Tuamala, in the meantime, was enjoying a wonderful fight with Matthias Ferreira for the lead in the Pro-Am race. And that was going to continue all the way to the end. But it was this fight for the lead that kept us absolutely on the edge of our seats. And Ariel Levy withstanding significant pressure. And at one point, Sasha Norden looking vulnerable in that second place when he was fighting so hard. Flint Schuring closing in, and indeed Chester Kiefer. And hats off to Chester in his debut race for doing such a sterling job. There were other fights further back down the pack. Luciano Martinez and Mace Muller were going at it hammer and tongs, but it was the fight for the race lead that kept us gripped right to the very last corner, and even out of the last corner. I don't think Sasha Norden had quite settled for that second place, because they came in to the final couple of corners with Norden absolutely glued to the back bumper of the number 25 car, Schuring there as well. They crossed the, as always, you go get yourself warmed up now. Look at that grid of cars ready to go. You could just hear it in the voices of the drivers. You could hear some of them quite nervous, and a lot of pressure on Chester Kiefer, particularly in that pole position on his first race. It's going to be all about the launch. This, of course, is a standing start. And just to clarify, I know this has been asked a few times, these cars are running with no ABS. It is all about getting it right with the left or indeed right foot, depending on how you drive the car. Look at that. There's almost like a haunting silence as the cars just sit there on the grid, and in a few moments the instruction will be given and the Porsches will all burst into life. Those mighty 4-litre engines, such a distinctive sound, will burst into life. I should think many of the drivers will be keen to get this race underway, because there is rain around. There has been rain forecast, and these will be an altogether different experience if the rain does start to fall. Right, you can see the board has been raised, the 1-minute sign. You heard on board from Ariel Levy, the engine now just ticking over, and in a few seconds the tyres will light up as we start the formation lap. It will be the critical time for these drivers to generate heat into the tyres and into the brakes. You get the heat into the brakes, it soaks through the wheel rim and into the tyres. What you want is to have as much grip as possible when you arrive at speed into turn 1 during the first racing lap. It isn't just a formation lap where you're tootling around looking at the Portuguese scenery. It's all about getting the car into the operating window. But the cars will be a little bit short on grip for the first couple of laps while the heat is generated. Remember, no tyre warmers are allowed. We are at the Portimão circuit here in the Algarve circuit. That is 4.653 kilometres around. That equates to about 2.891 miles. We have 15 turns, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, racing in a clockwise direction. There is an awful lot of undulation, 30 metres difference between the highest and the lowest as we have a look at the grid. Chester Kiefer, Ariel Levy, Flint Schuring, Sasha Norden, Domas Radonis and Sid Smith, keep an eye on them. Also Rodrigo Almeida, what a great debut for him. And Dirk Shooter down in P8, the reigning Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux champion. Also Draco Janssen, he would have been doing his ring dance ahead of Jelta Hufner, Matthias Ferreira, Nick Ho, Henry Tuamala, Charles Visser, Josh Stanton got a grid penalty for violating Park Verme, alongside Jonas Greif making his return to Porsche Racing in 2025. Next up, Alex Ryman. He's a long way back, a lot of work to do from there. He has Felix Neuhofer for company. Then it's Thomas Cangro, Mace Muller, Luciano Martinez ahead of Anthony Imperato, with Ziad Gueris bringing up the rear. We mentioned Henry Tuamala midway through the pack. He's the leading Pro-Am driver. Our leading rookie driver is our pole sitter as well. Chester Kiefer, the name on everybody's lips, but Ariel Levy will be poised and ready to try and ruin his dreams. So on this formation lap, cars now currently heading towards turns 13 and 14. You just get a slight impression of the undulation on this circuit. There are several places, four in particular, which are a blind crest. The cars will be coming over those hills at full speed and a blind crest. It takes a lot of courage to keep your foot buried on the accelerator when you don't know what is the other side of that hill. So the drivers will be needing to dig deep with the nerves. Now, Chester Kiefer doing a good job because he's weaving to get the heat into the tyres, but what he doesn't want to do is get to the grid too quickly and be sat there with the engine running and, more importantly, the tyres cooling down while the back of the pack forms up. So he'll want to keep the heat in the tyres, weave and get that heat into the brakes as well, but not get to the grid too early. You can see the rest of the cars behind. Such a quality field of cars. It is round 1 of 8 for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Sport Division. This race, it's a timed race. It's not done by laps, it's done by time. It is 30 minutes plus 1 lap. So when the clock strikes 0, the race leader will complete whatever lap they're on, and then there will be an additional lap after that, and that will be the time for the checkered flag. So the cars now forming on the grid, and you can see Chester Kiefer is there. Keep an eye on Ariel Levy. He's done more laps around this circuit than his fellow front row starter. The rest of the pack now just forming up. So we wait for clearance from the back of the pack. The man with the green flag will let us know that all is good, and we will be ready to go racing. Are you ready? Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe 2025. We're waiting for the lights to go out. We are go! A great start from Chester Kiefer. He moves across to try and block Ariel Levy, but look at Flint Schering trying to come round both of them. Ariel Levy looking to the inside, looking to the outside. Chester Kiefer trying to make the car as wide as possible. The rest of the cars filing through the first turn, but it's Ariel Levy who takes the lead, getting the jump on the number 88 car in towards turn 3. They come. It's Ariel Levy, our new race leader, mugging Chester Kiefer off the front of the pack. Here they come down the hill. Our new race leader, Ariel Levy. Now Flint Schering challenging on the inside of Chester Kiefer for that second place. Chester dropping back. He is also now coming under pressure from Sasha Norden. Sasha Norden up into that third place. Everybody else now filing through. Side by side is the challenge for that fourth place. Riding on board with Dirk Schutten, the reigning champion in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. He's got a bit of work to do from there. We've got a yellow flag at turn 1, so it looks like somebody hasn't made it. I think it might have been Thomas Cangro. Yes, it is. So Thomas Cangro, you saw him there with the hazard lights flashing. Not the start of the season he wanted. Everybody else keeps going. You can see the clock at the top of your screen. It is 28.5 minutes plus 1 lap of this, the first of 8 races in the sport division for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Dirk Schutten on board with the number 34 car. He's in the traffic at the moment, making his debut in this series. But look at the lead that Ariel Levy has pulled out already. He got the jump into the first couple of corners and he's moved clear. So Flint Schering up there as well. The rest of the cars coming through. There's Dirk Schutten, there's Draper Janssen, Sid Smith in there as well. riding on board with Dirk Schutter to complete the first lap. We get confirmation of those positions. Ariel Levy, a second clear of Flint Schuring. Sasha Norden, Chester Keeper, the leading rookie, down into fourth place. Dirk Schutter, good start from him, up into fifth place. Draker Janssen, Sid Smith, also Rodrigo Almeida, Nick Ho, Domas Radonis also there. See the car going wide. That's Thomas Cangro once again. So clearly some big issues for Thomas Cangro on board with Dirk Schutter, looking to push his way forwards. Didn't qualify as far up through the pack as he wanted in qualifying, but making up for it now. A challenge for position further back. Josh Stanton, after his penalty in qualifying, moving his way forwards. He's got Matias Ferreira just ahead of him. So the car's now settling down. The headline at the end of the first lap, it's Ariel Levy who leads the way in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Race 1, but positions are being challenged all the way up and down the pack. The gap is just a little over 1 second between first and second place. Flint Schuring, though, will just be biding his time. Again, we have to be careful. Tyres are restricted. Just 2 sets of tyres for quali and race for both rounds this weekend. So drivers need to look after them. There are no pit stops, no scheduled pit stops in a sprint challenge race, unless of course it rains. So whatever tyres are on the car, they need to last to the end of the race. You go too hard, too soon, you may leave yourself vulnerable at the end of the race. So it's all about pacing yourself, looking after the equipment. But Ariel Levy now opening the gap to 1.2 seconds. Here they come down the hill into turn one. They reach speed to about 265 kilometers an hour before hitting the brakes in sixth gear. And then that first corner taken in third gear at about 130 kilometers an hour as Sid Smith and Draker Janssen now challenge for position. Sid Smith making his move for sixth place. At the front, Ariel Levy appears to have this under control. Keep an eye on Sasha Norden, who is moving his way forwards up into that third place. Chester Keeper in the pole sitter in his debut in Porsche racing. Other challenges for position further back. That was Felix Neuhofer, who was looking to move his way forwards. Ahead of him was Luciana Martinez. Up the hill they come. Once again, the blind crest. A couple of the cars going a little bit wide, kicking up a bit of dirt. To remind you, track limits are critical here at Portimão. We have seen many drivers falling foul of the stewards. Now look at Sid Smith to the inside of the reigning champion in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. He is a man on a mission. Sid Smith in the number 55 Team Parker racing car. We're riding on board with him now. A man who is moving his way up into fifth place. Great stuff from Sid Smith, the number 55 pilot who comes from the UK. Last year was second in the Pro-Ams in Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain and looking to make his mark in this race. Now Draker Janssen, he and Dirk Schutter had many battles together last year in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, now fighting each other for sixth place here at Portimão in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Draker Janssen, although he now has the attentions of Rodrigo Almeida in the number 18 car. Rodrigo in the back Autotech car. There's contact between the two of them. Almeida goes spinning. Almeida across the track. Now Janssen manages to avoid making further contact with him. Almeida's able to rejoin, but I reckon our stewards are going to want to take a look at that. What a shame. Rodrigo Almeida, the driver who's come up through the ranks of GT4 racing, having a moment there with Draker Janssen. He regathers it. Looks as though he's managed to escape any damage, but all that hard work in qualifying, and he now drops back down through the order. At the front, Ariel Levy continues to open up that gap. 1.378 seconds as we ride on board with Dirk Schutter in sixth place. Sid Smith, man on a mission, now closing in on Chester Keeper in that fourth place. Our pole sitter in fourth place at the moment. Ahead of him is Sasha Norden. Down the hill we come. 23.25 minutes remaining of this race. Let's have another look here. Let's see what occurred. We're looking at, that was the moment there. I believe there was contact between Draker Janssen and Rodrigo Almeida, and now Almeida pulled up at the side of the track, but we need to take another look at that to confirm it from the camera angle on board with Dirk Schutten. But such a shame. It looks like Rodrigo Almeida is done for this race. There'll be a massive flat spot on those tyres as well. Now the question is, are we going to need a safety car to get his car out of the way? Ariel Levy will hope not, because he has opened up the gap at the front to 1.8 seconds over Flint Schuring. The two drivers who have been fighting each other. In fact, we've gone full course yellow. So the cars are now being instructed to reduce their speed. So every driver now needing to reduce their speed under the full course yellow. The gap should remain the same. Now we're going to see if we can have another look at the incident that has brought out this full course yellow, and we will try and see what actually happened there, whether there was contact or not. At the moment, strictly no overtaking. The speed is reduced. Right, let's have a look at a replay here. So Almeida on the inside, Draker Janssen on the outside. Janssen cuts to the inside. Almeida goes to shut the door, maybe the slightest bits of contact. And I have to say, Almeida did very well not to be collected by a car behind. Such a shame for the driver from Mozambique. He's racing for FAC Autotech, who are a fairly legendary team in the world of Porsche racing. Both Alex Fack Sr. and Alex Fack Jr. who run that team, and Alex Fack Jr. a race winner in his own right. And he will be looking on, and they would have been watching that from behind a pillow, I should think, because a scary moment as the car is broadside across the track, but it looks as though it's escaped the damage, but it does mean that Rodrigo Almeida has retired from the race. The car will be retrieved, and he will come back, hopefully, in round 2 later on this afternoon to do it all again. In the meantime, the speed is significantly reduced under the full course yellow. Absolutely no overtaking. And there's Dirk Schutten. He's probably thinking, I could just nick past Sid Smith. No one would know, would they? Yes, they would. The stewards monitor this very, very closely, and anybody speeding under a full course yellow will get hit with a very heavy penalty. At the time of the yellow, it was Ariel Levy who was leading the way. 1.8 second is the gap over Flint Schuring. Sasha Norden in 3rd place. In 4th place, our pole sitter, Chester Kiefer. Also, our leading rookie, as denoted by the blue box on your graphic at the side of his name. The charging Sid Smith in 5th place ahead of Dirk Schutten. Nick Ho making good progress there in 7th place. He managed to keep out of that battle. Right, safety car has now been deployed. So safety car is out. So the race stewards have decided a safety car is needed. It means that all of those gaps are going to be closed up. And Ariel Levy will not be chuffed about that, because a gap that was nearly 2 seconds is now going to reduce to nothing as the safety car comes out. Here it is. So safety car is now on the track and will lead the field around, and will pick up the leader as Sid Smith giving the instruction to go on by. The safety car will wait till Ariel Levy comes along and will pick him up. The cars then, all the gaps will disappear and they will return into single file, and Flint Schuring will be rubbing his hands together at the prospect of having no gap between himself and the Israeli driver in front of him. But Sasha Norden, just keep one eye on him. He is a driver who just seems to get better and better whenever we see him race. He's man on a mission this year. We hear rumours of where he might be ending up racing in 2025, but we'll let him confirm that himself. But he is running for Proton Huber Competition, the legendary team that is run by Christoph Huber and Christian Reed. And they, of course, prepared the car of Larry Tenforder, who won the championship in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. He's a Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup champion, a legend in the world of Porsche racing. And he has set up the Larry Tenforder Driving Academy. And guess who's in 2nd and 3rd place? Yes, 2 of his young proteges, Flint Schuring and Sasha Norden, are both being tutored and coached by Larry Tenforder this weekend. And I'm told that what they're learning from him is worth its weight in gold. I think there'll be a queue, as long as your arm, of drivers wanting to join. Oh, there's Rodrigo Almeida. That's a nice speedy way back to the pits. Ariel Levy, who is racing for another legendary team, Team GP. We're going to have another look at the start of the race. We always got our eyes on the very front row at the start. It was good to see what happens further back. It was a great start from Josh Stanton. I think he beat everybody out of the blocks there. It was a good start initially by Chester Kiefer, but this is where Ariel Levy looked to the outside, then ducked back to the inside. He had Flint Schuring on the outside of him. Then he saw that nice big gap into turn 2. Filled it with the Team GP Elite Porsche and was through into the lead. And Chester Kiefer have very much been hung out to dry as the rest of the pack came filing through. Right, that is towards the back of the pack. That is Felix Neuhofer that we're looking at. The cars circulating as we are getting ready to go back to green very shortly. In a few moments, the lights will go off on the safety car, and I've just been shown a red flag. So a red flag has appeared on the timing screen. I thought we were about to get going, but we've got a red flag that has come out. Now, I don't know why, so we'll have a look and see whether there is any indication as to why that might be. But the red flags are out. It means the cars are going to be brought to a stop. The clock stops at 16:38, but I've had no indication as to why the red flag might be out. So that will bring the cars to a stop. And I'm looking at the timing screen. The only car that wasn't moving was Rodrigo Almeida. We saw him going back safely. Thomas Cangro is he's a couple of laps down, but I think he is all okay. So we've had notification that the session will resume, but I'm not sure why the red flag has come out. Dare say that will all come out eventually. The only car we have lost so far is Rodrigo Almeida, and maybe there's some damage that has been done to a barrier somewhere. But whichever way, safety car now bringing the cars back to the grid, and back will be to a stop, and hopefully we can get this thing underway. Well, there is the Almeida car, and maybe the race directors have decided that the car is in such a vulnerable position that in these conditions, having cars even running behind the safety car may be too much of a hazard when you've got people out on the track working. We've seen it here in these chilly conditions. We saw it last year, and we've seen it in quali this morning. Drivers, particularly on the exit of the pit lane, getting on the power, back end of the car, snapping around, and with little heat in the tyres, grip is very much at a premium. And it may well be that the race directors have decided that with people working on the track, with temperatures cold, therefore tyres cooling down, the best option is to not have cars moving past staff who are working on the track. Whichever way, I don't think this is going to be a particularly long stoppage. So I'm hoping that we will be able to get going fairly soon. The fastest part of the circuit is in towards turn 1. The drivers are in 6th gear, about 265 kilometers an hour at racing speed. But there's some windy old parts of the track as well. It was up at turn 4 where, I think where Rodrigo Almeida was stopped up near turn 4, which is a blind crest, one of several blind crests on this circuit. Part of the track that is taken at about 150 kilometers an hour in 3rd gear at racing speed. But again, safety is everything. It's very important that we protect not only the drivers, but certainly all the amazing people that work around the circuit, retrieving these cars. Our flag marshals, safety is paramount. There is the FAC Autotech Porsche. And that is currently being lowered very gently. An awful lot of money's worth of Porsche there being lowered onto the back of the truck. Mentioned FAC Autotech. They're a team that have been around for many, many years. And Alex FAC Jr., who won the Pro-Am Championship in the ADAC GT Masters, a fantastic GT3 championship in Germany last year. And also here in the capacity as a driver coach this weekend. And I expect will be imparting his wisdom to Rodrigo Almeida. Hopefully, there's nothing too terminal wrong with that car. Some people out on the terraces trying to stay warm. Right, we've got notification that the restart is going to be within the next minute. I think in probably about 30 seconds or so. So really a short red flag. And the clock will get running again. And it's actually ticked down a bit already. So 37 on the timing screen. So I just into the brakes, getting everything up together, and everything will have cooled down while the cars are static. So we may well get a couple of laps, certainly at least one lap behind the safety car. It will be a rolling start, so we only get the clutch start at the start of the race. Then when the direction is given by the race steward, the lights will go off on the safety car. That will be the indication to Ariel Levy that he will then take over the pacing of the race, and it will be his decision when he hits the accelerator. Once the safety car is out of the way, the only rule for Ariel is don't overtake the safety car. The rule for everybody else behind is no overtaking until you reach the start-finish line. So I should think, well, I know Ariel has done many of these restarts in the 3 years that he has been racing cars. Yes, 3 years ago, he had never even raced a car, and his rise up through the ranks has been fairly monumental. Of course, a real crowning glory was winning the championship here in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe last year. So we are under yellow flag at the moment, and we are back under racing conditions. So safety car, I'm told, is going to be doing one outlap. So will almost certainly duck in at the end of this lap, and we will be racing once again. And Ariel will want to catch Flitz Schuring napping if at all possible. He'll want to be on the accelerator at about the same time that Flitz Schuring isn't, and therefore get the jump and open up a gap. But Sasha Norden, Chester Keeper are there. Keep an eye on Sid Smith as well. Dirk Schuten there in 6th place. He's worked his way forwards a little, but a relatively quiet race by his standards so far. But you discount Dirk Schuten at your peril. He is there or thereabouts, and he will be ready to bounce. Right, safety car will be in on this lap. So hopefully Ariel Levy has generated a little bit of heat into those tyres, and he will have the grip when they approach the first corner. You can see now the safety car has pulled off into the distance, so Ariel becomes the de facto safety car. It's his decision when to go. He can't slow right down and back the pack up, but as long as he keeps it going, it's his call when he wants to go, and he will be weaving. It's his decision how much he wants to weave, how much he wants to use the brakes. It will be Flint Schuring's job to keep his eyes glued on the GP Elite car in front of him and to be on the gas as soon as that car goes. You can see Ariel weaving, everybody else focused on the car in front, waiting for that moment when he goes, right, now Ariel hits the accelerator. Good job done by there. He'll come out to receive the green flag in just a few moments, and he will then be resuming his place. There we go, there's the green flag at the lead of this race. Look at Sasha Norden challenging for second place on the outside into turn 1. Flint Schuring doesn't look like he has much he can defend with there. Sasha Norden trying to go the long way around turn 2, now into turn 3. Now Flint Schuring coming back He has the position now. Sasha Norden cutting back to the inside to try and find a route on the inside of Flint Schering. In the background, Chester Keeper looking to cash in on it. Dirk Schutten wants revenge on Sid Smith just in front of him in the green and white car. But look at this for second place. Now Sasha Norden on the inside into turn 5. It'll be a climb up the hill. A good exit out of this corner is essential because the next corner taken absolutely flat out. So has Sasha Norden got that position from Flint Schering? Yes, he has. Flint Schering relegated down into third place. Dirk Schutten watching it all unfold in front of him. Meanwhile, Alex Ryman, Josh Stanton challenging for position further back. We're on board with Dirk Schutten here. Schutten in that 6th place, looking to move his way forwards. The cars all bunched together. A great opportunity to make up positions. A great opportunity to throw it all away. Just over 12 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. The first race of the season. Defending champion Ariel Levy leading the way at the front of the pack. In second place, Sasha Norden having overtaken Flint Schering, still fighting further down the pack. Levy seems to have this covered off at the moment. We'll see what the gap is when they cross the start-finish line next time around. Absolutely flat out along the straight. They will come up to that 265 kilometers an hour in 6th place. That's what it looks like from the perspective of Dirk Schutten. Then the heavy braking into the third gear, first corner, and then into 4th gear, second corner. Lots of drivers having a little look, looking to pick up a slipstream as they head into turn 1. That's Felix Neuhofer having a little look on the inside of Henry Tuamala. That's the view from turn 3 at the moment. Everybody making it around, and Neuhofer to the inside of Tuamala. He steals the position away. Tuamala not really needing to put up too much of a fight here. He is the leading Pro-Am driver as indicated by the white box next to his name on the graphic. He is more interested in the other Pro-Am drivers. Still positions being fought for. Charles Visser, the driver from South Africa, also pushing forwards in the number 7 car for target competition. That is in 16th place. So every last point counts here in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Points are paid down to 15th place, so there's no settling back on your laurels. Ariel Levy at the moment 1.2 seconds is the gap between first and second, so looks to have Sasha Norden covered off. We said keep an eye on Sasha Norden, the man who is pushing forwards. Now what can he do about the 1.2 second gap between himself and the race leader? Flint Schering about 6/10 back, and then Chester Keefer, Sid Smith there as well. So Sid Smith about 5/10 of a second, about half a second back from Chester Keefer at the moment. This is the view that Ariel Levy was dreaming of when he went to bed last night and when he woke up this morning. An open track in front of him and all of his opposition behind him as he looks to become the first driver ever to successfully defend a championship in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. The driver from Israel leading the way at the moment, but Sasha Norden pegging him back by a couple of tenths of a second. This is not over yet. 9.5 minutes remaining, plus 1 lap in the first of 2 races for the sport division in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe here today. Sid Smith now having to look a little in his mirrors at Dirk Schutten. There's Nick Ho, Josh Stanton. Just ahead of them was Domas Radonis on board with Sid Smith. Once again, the driver from Essex in the number 55 car started off in the world of mini stocks racing, something very, very different. So Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, whatever it takes, he's working his way up the motorsports ladder here at Portimão in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Ariel Levy, 1.013. That was the magic gap. He's into sector 3 at the moment. The fastest of anybody, though, in sector 1 on that last lap was second place, Sasha Norden. He was about 1/10 quicker than the race leader in sector 1 of the last lap. On the next sector, Ariel Levy was fractionally faster than Sasha Norden. You can see the gap there. So Ariel Levy looks to have this covered off at the moment. It'll be good to see what the gap is when they cross the start-finish line in just a few moments. Here we come along the start-finish line once again. down to 0.775. Sasha Norden is on the attack. Blitz Schering in third place. Chester Kiefer, the pole sitter, is in fourth place. He's the leading rookie. As noted by the blue box around his number, second in the rookies is Matthias Pereira, who is down in 12th place. Third in the rookies is Jelte Hüfner, who is just behind Ferreira. So the challenges all the way further back, and that is Jelte Hüfner fighting with Ferreira as if on cue for that position. It is Jelte Hüfner who is in the number 919 car. Ferreira in the 27 car, not able to challenge now at the moment. 919 moving his way up through the pack into that 12th place. Now the 27 car fighting back for position. So everybody challenging for their respective championships to the inside. 27 sees a gap, but not able to make it stick. So Matthias Ferreira still in that 27 car, still in that position. Down the hill we come. The gap for the leader coming down even more, because second place Sasha Norden has just taken another couple of tenths out of Ariel Levy's lead. We've got some warnings that have been issued. Alex Ryman has been given a warning for track limits on turn 4. Alex Ryman currently in 11th place for S1 Racing. Of course, Ryman, who is the outgoing Pro-Am champion in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. There is Nico, always there, just consistently nibbling away in the number 98 car. He's in 9th place at the moment. Look at that. The leader, first and second, almost running together. Sasha Norden with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.323. So Norden taking this to Ariel Levy. Are we going to see a challenge for the lead with just over 6 minutes plus 1 lap remaining? There is Dirk Schouten still in that 6th place. Sid Smith still ahead of him. There's Chester Kiefer up there as well. This is the race leader, first and second. Down the hill they come towards turn 5. A good exit out of this corner is essential. Sasha Norden looking to have something of the upper hand in terms of pace, but he's got to find a route past the number 25 car. Ariel Levy is a real talent at defending as well as attacking, and he is in the lead of this race by 0.466. What can Sasha Norden do to get past? On board with Ariel Levy at the moment. It's a nice clear track in front of him, but he will be aware that his mirror is full of red and white number 21 car, the Proton Huber competition of Sasha Norden. Chester Kiefer still in that 4th place, the leading rookie. So here's our race leader, first, second, absolutely nothing between them. Sasha Norden with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.323, the fastest lap of the race, showing his intent on the timing screens. Can he do it on the track? Still, Levy has this covered off. He's just got to hold on for about another 4 3/4 minutes plus the obligatory 1 extra lap at the end of the race. Third place now, a little bit too far back to challenge Flint Schering. It looks as though third is about as good as he's going to get. The fastest lap is Sasha Norden, confirmed on screen, 1:44.323. The gap when they crossed the line last time was 0.415 of a second. Very, very little in it. Just one mistake from Ariel Levy and he will surrender that lead. He needs to be driving, looking up front, not looking in the mirror too much, not being distracted by Sasha Norden, who is monstering him all the way for the top step of the podium. Flint Schering is there, too far back to challenge, but just about there. If these two cars get together, Schering will be through and will steal past both of them. Ariel Levy, focus as he sees the empty track in front of him. Don't look at the mirror. Sasha Norden staring at the GP Elite Porsche just in front of him. Track limit warning has been given out once again to Alex Ryman, also to Felix Neuhofer, as Sasha Norden has another look to the outside in towards turn 5, the Torre VIP corner. What can Ariel Levy do to defend? What can Sasha Norden do to get past? Ariel Levy will see the red and white car in his mirrors, filling them full. Norden looks to the outside. Will he take the first win of the season? He ducks back to the inside. The two cars running side by side. Can Sasha Norden make it stick? No. Levy still in the lead, 3.25 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. Ariel Levy back in the lead of this race, but suddenly Flint Schuring is back in the game. He's closed in. While first and second were fighting each other, it's allowed third place to close in on both of them. This two-way battle for the lead is suddenly a three-way battle for the lead. Less than 3 laps, 3 minutes remaining plus 1 lap. Again, Sasha Norden looking to the inside into turn 1, trying to distract Ariel Levy, trying to make him miss a braking point. Into turn 2 they come, a 4th gear corner taken flat out. Then into turn 3, a 1st gear corner taken at about 55 kilometers an hour. Flint Schuring keeping them very, very much in sight. 2.5 minutes remaining plus 1 lap. Someone has kicked up a bit of dirt. Sasha Norden challenging once again for the lead. Ariel Levy still in front at the moment. Flint Schuring now flashing the lights suddenly. Sasha Norden is aware that if he challenges for the lead and it doesn't stick, he's going to let Flint Schuring through. The first 3 running absolutely nose to tail. This is why we love Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Brilliant stuff. Flint Schuring to the inside of Sasha Norden. The 2 cars almost make contact. Sasha Norden has it covered off. Remember, both these drivers coached by the same driver of Larry Tenforder. The 1, 2, 3, now 4th place Chester Keeper also coming to join the battle. The 2-way battle for the lead became a 3-way battle. Now it's a 4-way battle. Ariel Levy holding on by the skin of his teeth with 1 minute and 40 seconds plus 1 lap remaining. In towards turn 13 he will come, and in towards turn 14 our leading rookie is still Chester Keeper, our leading Pro-Am driver still Henry Tuamala. But our eyes are glued to this lead battle. 1, 2, 3, 4, all running together on the track. Who is it going to be? Advantage Ariel Levy at the moment, but Sasha Norden will not need half an invitation to get his nose in front of the number 25 car. Along the pit straight they come once again, the gap down to 0.366. Like a piano accordion, the gap opening and closing as they go into the corners. Ariel Levy in control at the moment. We're into the last minute of timed racing, so it's going to be this lap plus 1 more for this, the first race of the season for Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Sasha Norden will be aware that time is running out if he wants to take the top step of the podium. Ariel Levy will be aware that he just needs to make the number 25 car the widest Porsche in the whole of Portimão, and that's exactly what he's doing. Don't go deep into the corner, he leaves a gap. Sasha Norden appears to have better traction out of the corner, able to take a tighter line. Flint Schuring drops back just a little for the time being. Chester Keeper in there as well. Do we have any more surprises up our sleeve, or is this the order they're going to finish in? 15 seconds of timed racing. They're up at turn 9 at the moment. So about a lap and a half left of this race. Ariel Levy, he's led every lap of this race. He got in front in the first couple of corners of this race, and he has led all the way. Can he make it now to the checkered flag? Can he hold off Sasha Norden? The race stewards have been looking at an incident between Thomas Cangro and Alex Ryman, but we are staring at the 1, 2, 3, 4 at the front of this race. Henry Tuamala in 15th place, the leading driver in the Pro-Ams. The leading driver of the race still Ariel Levy. He's out of turn 15 for the penultimate time, so he's now about to start the final lap of the race as he comes across the start-finish line. Now, Sasha Norden, what can he do with 1 lap remaining? Distract him, that's what he's trying to do. Flashing the lights, looking to the inside, filling the mirrors. Schuring has dropped back a little. It seems to be now a 2-way battle for the lead. Ariel Levy keeping it all together, drawing on all of his wisdom, all of his experience in his 3 years of racing as he holds on to the lead of this race. Sasha Norden, has he run out of ideas? Sid Smith in 5th place, a solid job from him, just 3.3 seconds back from this race lead battle. But there's Ariel Levy into turn 5 for the very last time. Then into turn 6, taking 180 kilometers an hour in 4th gear, absolutely flat out. And then it'll be the 4th gear, turn 7, taking it 200 kilometers an hour up towards the blind crest. The cars climb up the hill. All they can see is the sky. Then the roller coaster comes back down again. Ariel Levy still in control. Sasha Norden now, is it just forcing Levy into a mistake in the last half a lap? Is that going to be his opportunity? Ariel Levy will be aware of the car behind. He just needs to focus on what's in front as he heads towards turn 13 for the last time in this, the opening race of the season. It looks like Sasha Norden has run out of ideas to get past, or has he? He pulls up slightly alongside, but Levy has this covered off. The 1-2-3 once again running absolutely nose to tail. But Ariel Levy out of the final corner in just a few moments. He's going to see the check flag in front of him. The clock has struck 0. Out of turn 15 they come. Ariel Levy is going to cross the start-finish line. A last lunge from Sasha Norden, but it's a win for Ariel Levy. He held on despite all the pressure from Sasha Norden. Flynn Schering rounding out the podium positions. Our pole sitter, Chester Keeper, in his debut in Porsche Sprint Racing, a very, very respectable 4th place. And also the winner in the rookie race. The rest of the cars coming across the line. Second in the rookies will be Jelte Hufner in 919. Third in the rookies, Matthias Ferreira in the car number 27. And the winner in the Pro-Am race is going to be Henry Tuamala in 1-2-3. The Finnish driver for Team Koronen will cross the line to win in the Pro-Am race. Fantastic stuff. What a great way to start the season in Porsche Sprint Challenge, Southern Europe. And there is your result, of course, very much subject to confirmation. It's Sasha Norden, Flynn Schering, Chester Keeper, rounding out the Ariel Levy, Sasha Norden, Flynn Schering, rounding out the 1-2-3. Chester Keeper in 4th ahead of Sid Smith, Dirk Schutten, Draker Janssen, Domas Radonis, Nick Ho, and Josh Stanton. A great drive from Josh Stanton, came from near the back of the pack to finish in 10th place for Proton Huber competition. Also, solid drive to 2nd place in the rookies for Jelte Hufner and Matthias Ferreira in 12th place, the 3rd place in the rookies, ahead of Alex Ryman and also Felix Neuhofer rounding out the top 14. In 15th place, it will be Henry Tuamala who will win in the Pro-Am category, and he is ahead of Jonas Greif making his return to Porsche Racing, and Charles Visser in 17th, Anthony Imperato, then Mace Muller, Luciano Martinez in 20th, ahead of Ziad Giris, and then Thomas Cangro, Rodrigo Almeida. They were in the wars, of course. Almeida bringing out that safety car after the potential collision. It's better from season to season. I remember when we saw him making his debut in Porsche 3 years ago, he was good. Not really a contender for race wins. The following year, he'd made a massive step up. Last year, he turned into a race winner. Of course, 2 years ago, he won in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. There is Larry, 10th order, congratulating his driver. There is Sasha Norden, receiving congratulations from his team. And there is Ariel Levy. Yes, you had to work for that one, didn't he? And did what he had to do. Preserved the tyres and the brakes enough to get the car to the end. Of course, racing is the 2nd season with Team GP Elite, and some familiar faces from Team GP Elite. Torsten van Haasteren is one of the people that runs the show there, but a whole team of them that do a fantastic job. They know how to prepare a team. The Dutch team.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, it was.
Oh, really good stuff from Sasha Norden, congratulating Ariel. And I can see Piers Pryor there. So we're going to hand down to Piers Pryor, who's there with our race winner.
Cheers, Brian. Congratulations and well done for getting through that one, because that was quite hard in the commentary box. I imagine the only person more stressed than yourself was this man here. Ariel, you soaked up a lot of pressure for those last 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure it was it was full of pressure. I think also I was a bit unlucky with the situation because I was pushing quite a lot, and I believe I was the fastest before the safety car, and after the safety car I did not have enough tires to stay with the other guys speed-wise, but I think I made good decisions and I stayed in front.
I think you showed your experience in that race. Do you think that counted?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think Sasha was faster than me in the end and made quite a good fight, but I think my decision covered me up, so that's good.
Amazing, and of course this time last year you're on the podium, 3rd place. this year, starting off the year with a win. That must feel pretty good.
Yeah, that feels amazing, to be honest. I think this cannot be a better start of the season, and also 2 wins in a row. It's quite nice.
Amazing. Ariel, we'll get you, see you on the podium very shortly. I'm hoping to grab a word with Sasha Norden if he's still around, but he may have already headed up to the podium. Is Henry Tuamala around as well? No, I think that's it. So just Ariel leaving for now. I'm going to hand back up to Brian, then shortly we'll be having the podium ceremonies.
He is brilliant. ஆனா அடிக்கடி ரொம்ப டயர்ட் ஆயிடுறான்.
லயன் டேட் சிரப் நோய் எதிர்ப்பு சக்தி அதிகமா இருக்கு. தினமும் 2 ஸ்பூன்.
இப்போது புதிய அறிமுகம் ஆச்சி ஹோட்டல் சாம்பார் 50 கிராம் ரூபாய் 20 மட்டுமே.
Taste Daily. Taste the Daily.